Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. My favorite makeup today, well, I'm not wearing anything currently, but I do have a Briogeo Don't Despair Deep Conditioning Mask on my hair right now. My hair is going crazy because I've been traveling, so it's very tangly. It's getting all knotted up in itself. So I'm hoping that this deep conditioning is actually going to fix that problem. So I'm only on the first like 2 tries with it so far, but it does make my hair feel really nice right away. I don't know how well it's going to work long term, so I'll let you know on that, but so far I'm liking it pretty well. You may notice I've got a different backdrop right now, and that's because I'm traveling. I'm on tour with my musical and my band in Florida, so I do have my backdrop with me. I wasn't quite sure if I needed to put it up. It was getting pretty decent lighting here, so I'm going to try this for a couple of days, see how I like it, and if not, I'll put my backdrop back up. Anyway, let's get going. So today's video is going to be about several Maybelline products. I actually picked this guy up. This is the Master Holographic Prismatic Highlighter. This is in the shade 050. From what I can tell based on the shine of it, it looks like it's probably a pink highlighter, so I'll be able to compare that to some other pink highlighters that I have with me, but I'm curious to see the quality on this. I also picked up one of the Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles because I've always wanted to try this thing because I do get a little bit of a dark circle right here. So I picked up the shade Light, and we'll see how this works. I'm very curious about it. It's a micro corrector applicator and dark circles treatment formula. So it's a formula with haloxyl that instantly covers and diminishes the look of puffiness, and the eye area will look radiant and refreshed. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I don't know necessarily, how it's going to work, but I'm hoping that, it's going to immediately reduce all of the nonsense under here. It's supposed to instantly erase the look of dark circles and fine lines and visibly diminish the look of puffiness. So, I think this thing costs like $9. So if it does all of those things, I'm going to be really excited about that. And the last thing I picked up is this. This is the Maybelline Python Metallic Lip Kit. This is in the shade 15 Venomous, which is sort of a blue with sort of like a greeny gold is what it looks like that goes on top of it. I've never actually seen this in person until I was, on my way headed to Florida, so I was excited to pick one of these up. And I'm glad I found a fun color. So let's see how this works. So right now I'm just wearing moisturizer on my face, but I want to try out this concealer thing, eraser, see what this thing does. So this says, turn the collar of the micro corrector applicator in the direction of arrows until product is visible on the sponge. This may require a number of turns. Adjust accordingly for the desired amount of product. Using the applicator, you are to apply concealer directly to the under eye area, blending in an outward motion. To apply more, twist the collar of applicator 1 to 2 clicks at a time. For best results, use sparingly. And this is apparently protected with an antimicrobial system, so I'm not supposed to like wash this little sponge thing, and I'm only supposed to take the stuff off the top of this with a dry tissue. So that's exciting. Let's try this thing out. I don't know when I'm gonna know I'm gonna see anything. Anything happening? No? No? Oh, I finally think I'm getting product out. Oh, there we go, I can see it now. It's definitely starting to come out of the tip here. Okay. Blending in an outward motion. So I'm putting this on, blending outward. Doesn't smell like anything. It feels super weird. Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to use this to buff the product in necessarily. And I'm gonna try to blend this out a little with my finger to see how that goes. Well, I'll say this, it definitely brightens up the under eye area. I don't know that necessarily my puffiness has been reduced at all. Oh, it tingles a little. It does tingle a little. It's not an unpleasant feeling, but it's also interesting. I want to try this with some different makeup options because I wondered if I could just use this by itself, and I don't think so. I think it's made a very stark line here. So I'm going to have to try this again later with foundation, but I will, and I'll let you guys know how that's going. I do think it's definitely bright in the under eye area. I don't necessarily see a difference on myself for puffiness, but it might be something that I will notice a little bit later. So I'll let you know on this one. All right, let's move on to this holographic highlighter. I'm very excited to swatch this guy. Let's get this packaging open. It's got sort of a pretty pattern on it. It sort of reminds me of the way the Makeup Forever highlighters look. Just get a little bit of my finger. Feels nice, feels soft. And that's what the highlight looks like on my hand. It's definitely a very sparkly pink highlighter. It'll fit in nicely with the other sparkly pink highlighters I've picked up lately, though it's definitely a very pale pink. It's a very pale pink. I'm not positive if I have a lot of the stuff that I would normally compare this with me. It's definitely got more of a whiteness to it. It has sort of a glitter effect to it that I'm quite liking, but be aware that this does definitely look like it's gonna be a very glittery highlighter, but I like that, so I'm okay with it. I'm gonna try this with my regular highlighter brush, so it's looking kind of chunky in the brush. Let's tap that. Oh, there's a lot coming off. See how that looks in my regular spot. It definitely comes off very chunky off of the actual product itself. Obviously it doesn't come with a mirror. This thing, I believe, in my store was $7.99. For a glitter highlighter, I would say it's kind of subtle. But I actually do think it looks nice on the skin. It's just definitely not got a lot going on. The chunks kind of stick to the brush a little bit, and they don't really apply so much to the skin. I'm gonna try applying this to my arm again to see if I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go a little lower because my hand is a little annoyed at me at the moment. So I'm going to put it right there. It's got a beautiful sheen, but then if you sort of just blend it a little bit, it doesn't last very long, and if you touch it at all, it kind of comes off. So it doesn't seem like a super amazing highlighter. I just think it's a pretty basic, subtle, glittery highlighter. I mean, for a glittery highlighter, it's a beautiful pink. It's definitely a very nice color, but the texture of this just is not applying very well. So I'm going to try this with some other brushes and see if that goes a little bit better, but I'm not very impressed. To be honest, I have better pink highlighters than this, and this is just not applying very well. It's very chunky. It's weird. I've never really had a highlighter that felt like that, even the more inexpensive ones. My biggest complaint, for example, with the Makeup Revolution ones is that they're pretty powdery, but this is kind of chunky because it's sort of like almost got a wetness to it, so it sort of clumps a little bit. That's not really very pleasant. So I will try this out in public and see how it's looking with like a full face of makeup, but my initial impressions are, I'm like, it's okay, I guess. Moving on to the lip. So the way this stuff is supposed to work is that there is sort of like a lip gloss kind of a situation. That's the lip color, so that's the blue in this one, for example. And there's a metallic powder that you're supposed to tap onto your lips. So I'm assuming that'll be similar to like the Kat Von D Alchemist palette. I mean, you can do it with pretty much anything you want, but that's the one I use the most if I'm going to add some sort of shimmer to my lip. There's an awful lot of tape involved with these Maybelline products and opening them, so sorry this is taking so long. Comes in a little compact like this. This is the shade Venomous. No mirror, but that's the product that you're working with here. This is what I'm assuming is the blue shade, and then this is a really beautiful like foily, it's like a foily eyeshadow actually. See if I can get a good swatch of that. And that's what the foil lip top looks like. It's actually very beautiful. It's got like it's kind of like a duochrome. It's like a greeny gold. I rather like it. I wonder if I could use it as like an eyeshadow. So let's take a look at this lip stuff. So that's the blue on my finger. And we're just going to try to apply this to my lip and see how far we get with it. Well, that's about the best I can do without a lip brush. I don't have one with me. I don't really use them. So goes on a little patchy. It's a little bit outside my lines. It's basically because I can't really apply this otherwise. If I had known that I was really going to need a lip brush, I would have picked one up. But if you can see from the picture on the back of the box, it's done with your finger the whole way, so I assumed that it was going to go on fine. On the box, it's very opaque. It's definitely not that opaque when you're putting it on with your finger. I assume if you continue to layer the product, it would eventually get to that point. I'm going to put this powder on top of it, and to be honest, with the powder on top, it does look very beautiful. It's a lovely glittery shade. I quite like the topper itself. I think I'm just gonna have to get a lip brush and try this with a lip brush because I mean I can't really get into the inner corners of my mouth without sort of like smearing it, and that's just not gonna look cute. I think it's a little bit of false advertising. It's very misleading to think you could really apply this with your fingers. You cannot put this balm on with your finger. You can put the powder on, which the powder looks beautiful, but the balm itself kind of looks a bit of a mess. I look a bit of a mess right now with my kind of chunky highlighter and my weird patchy lips. My under eyes are looking pretty good though, I must say. If nothing else, like that lip topper shade is really very beautiful, and I love a good blue lipstick, so I'm sure that it will look lovely when I put that topper on a better blue lipstick. But I will try to get a brush and try this out again, so I'll let you know in a couple of days once I've had a chance to go pick one of those up, because I didn't bring one because I don't ever use them. I don't have any products that require it, and according to the box on this, I should have been fine with my fingers, so I didn't bother. So anyway, those are my feelings on my new Maybelline products. You know, we're sort of feeling each other out. Not super impressed with the quality on all of these. There's something to like in each of them, but I think it's going to take a little bit more time to figure that out. So I will revisit them later on this month, see if I'm getting any better use out of them, trying different brushes with the highlighter, for example. I'm going to try this under eye stuff to see if it's really, you know, treating the dark circle correction that it's supposed to, and see if I can figure out how to get this lipstick on not patchy. But I will say that that topper shade, it's beautiful. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please subscribe. If you've got a suggestion for a video you'd like to see me do, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all soon. Bye!